For those that do not know, Riot is split and contemplating removing Akali's stealth under tower, if not possibly reworking the W period in some manner. But if Akali's win rate is not OP, why are people saying she is, or hate playing against her, or maybe even hate playing as her? Are they just bad at the game? Are they bronze? Were they lulled in by the KDA craze and art, and now found a demon beneath the snow? Oh, you sweet summer child. No, and allow me to explain.
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Akali's hot topic of debate right now is stealth. Obviously, the best mechanic in the game, like that great 2005 movie that Top Gun could only hope to be half as good as. Don't at me. The short story though is regardless of her win rate, stealth under tower specifically feels bad to play against, since few champions can do similar things nor have answers for it. Towers are supposed to be one of the most safest places on the Rift, and this champion changes that interaction. If you're in a losing matchup against Akali, you just lost it harder, because you do not even have the option of hugging tower and just giving Akali all your farm, wave control, lunch money, and hopes and dreams. But even if you are in a winning matchup, you can't take a bad trade now and then retreat to tower later. It basically breaks the rule taught to us in this game, and when rules are broken, they tend to create player frustration. Then again, this is Riot's game, and they can simply change the rules, I guess, huh? We're just pawns in their world, our souls sold long ago.
I make the rules. You follow them. Got it?
With a game of 140 champions, you do have to push the boundaries from time to time to avoid making copies of existing champions, or overlapping abilities, which would then force older champions to need a rework just because of that. Unless the inside of Riot's HQ looks like Camino, this is Riot's struggle as to not make clones. Sometimes this can work out, like how Jinx and Jin's W seem similar on paper, but in execution, no one plays Jinx anymore, so who cares about this analogy? I cry. Except my tear ducts dried long ago in patch 522.
Aww.
Another analogy could be Yasuo. If you are bad at the game, you might hate Yasuo until you learn how to play around him. And yet, even if you're a diamond or higher, you still might hate him because maybe you are, say, a Gnar one-trick player, and you hate the interaction between his wind wall and your boomerang. Now, does that mean wind wall should be removed? Well, no. The interaction here is more of a counterpick affecting that champion. Could that mean in general that wind wall's hitbox should be tightened up a bit if it's clipping Gnar's boomerang when it should not, or other abilities in general? Also sure, but keeping with the rules analogy, while wind wall pushed a boundary or clarity on hitboxes which we all know have a sweet tooth because they like to lollipop like no one's business. One thing you cannot do with it though is dive under tower and use it to block tower shots. You can with Akali's Shroud however, and this is what Akali's Shroud is. A point of debate of course is, well, maybe should players be made to evolve with the game if the game needs to be kept fresh, that players cannot live in nostalgia or past seasons, like how bot lane should be opened up to more roles. That could never go wrong, right? No way you could suddenly have no DPS into Mundo, Galio, Urgot, and is that bad ever. Heck, if bot lane is ever actually successfully opened up, no one would actually have to worry about having me on their team ever again. So maybe that is a good thing after all. And maybe players should get better. But the problem here again is not 100% about skill. It is more about what league and its rules are and should those change. What I'm saying will vary from person to person. You might have none of these issues. I'm only trying to explain why there is some frustration around Akali and her stealth, since some are quick to jump on her win rate being bad, so people must be bad, and then kind of remind the rest of us that some parts of this community tend to have the analytical depth of the shallow end of a swimming pool. Which is why people rage at new champions being added to the champion pool. Means less water for them. Now if you're an ADC player like I, first off, literally do anything else right now. College homework, jumping jacks, seeking inner peace, subscribing to TDPie or Pew series. I botched that, huh? Probably. That's what I get for trying to jump on trending topics in SEO, I guess, darn it. If you're an ADC player like I, not purged by Order 66 8.11, then we're used to getting dove under towers so often, we swear every champion in this game has a skin that's a dive suit. So such a thing like Akali getting us under tower is business as usual. However, Akali's new Shroud has taken that feeling and put it into an ability we can all now share in. This is League of Adventure 2 Battle. ADCs are Gerald Robotnik, Akali is our space colony Ark, and everyone else is Earth. Feel the loss and despair. There are proponents of Akali who would argue to both get good at the game and her instead too. And to that point, I would like to say that there are some champions who, to get better at playing against them, you should probably play a few games as them to understand why and how parts of their kit work the way they do. That is true. That way, when playing your champions into them, you have a better understanding of why you just uninstalled the game instead. Jokes aside, my counter argument though is this specific thing is more about should it exist rather than skill level. Kind of like this channel. Should it exist? Maybe. I'd like to think if I made that one person laugh, then yes. But if I made 1,000 other people cringe or angry, is it worth? I'm not going to even pretend I'm kind of good at this game, nor old Akali, let alone new Akali, whom you should never leave alone with anyone on the Rift because she will probably end their existence. Playing against Akali for some people does mean believing Summoner's Rift got a Zaun makeover, because boy is there a lot of gray. Fitting because like an overcast day, she has cast Dark Times for her teammates. Seriously, her win rate is actually not that great, and currently, you'll probably have a harder time winning as or with Akali than against her. Maybe she should have listened to Shin instead of branching off after all. What I think this does show us, however, is Akali can be made to sit at a balanced win rate if Riot can figure out how to cure the frustration issues around stealth under tower. They are split on removing it because half of them are in favor of removing it under tower, and the other half still haven't emerged from the shrouds yet to cast their votes. Analogy-wise, it has created the shroud of disagreement, and possibly because they have to decide do they stick to their rules, or do they not and choose to evolve. It's Riot versus Riot.
You broke the rules. I hope you're ready for the punishment. It's your punishment for breaking the rules. I'm leaving.
And probably because even with it existing, she still sits at a rather low win rate, so they would have to buff something else to avoid her falling into the 30-something% win rate. And there are some buffs currently on the PvE, I believe. I don't know if they're going to be shift live yet, so that's why I kind of haven't mentioned them, but I will mention them here. Yes, they do exist. We'll see if they make it, and if they do something about the Shroud to kind of balance that out. And that is actually what I want to discuss with you watching. Say Riot said they would remove Stealth Under Tower in exchange for buffing something else of Akali. What would you pick? I'm no expert in balance, or my life would be put together. Balancing these videos, college, endless doubts, it's all a full-time battle. That said, if I were to take on this scenario, maybe I would give Akali better wave control tools. Maybe that means last hitting. So that way, if you want to hug tower against her, you can, and she will be rewarded with an advantage there. But maybe that way that would also force people to kind of come out to fight her in lane, and kind of reduce the need to have to fight under tower with Shroud to begin with anyways, since if you do not fight her, she will get too much in terms of gold and experience. But I am just a bronze nub who 2-tricks defeat and constant misplays due to lag or I mean packet loss. So what do I know? Well, one thing I do know is I'm 99% sure old Akali was actually voiced by Laura Bailey, who has done voices in animes and different things like Omochao in Sonic Generations, Maka in Soul Eater, Kushina aka Naruto's mother in Naruto Shippuden. And the funny thing about that too is, speaking of Naruto and ninjas, Naruto's mother was a ninja, Akali was a ninja, Akali's still a ninja, and people consider her Silver Fang after the rework like female Kakashi, who's also a ninja. So there's some nerdy fun facts. That's what I do know about Akali, I guess. So there's that. But to conclude, I'm sure Akali players would love to get to play their champion again and would sacrifice the Shroud in its current form to achieve that. It is one thing about reworks this year, mainly Akali and Aurelia, that worries me about future reworks. Having your champion permaban, even if not overpowered, because Riot decided to make a frustrating experience via interaction of an ability. Even as far back as Camille ult, that's been a thing, right? But usually my worries are unfounded though, like you will probably never have to worry about suffering through one of my poorly made videos ever again. Seriously, I ought to start writing scripts for these. But in a more serious note, thank you so much for watching this video. In the comment section down below, let's have a discussion about Akali. So, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button, and thank you so much for watching this video. I don't know which video will be next, because life can have a lot of kinks. So until next time, take care. ggGetJinxed. Thank you for watching. And enjoy pizza responsibly. No, actually, for this analogy, if Silver Fang Akali is like female Kakashi or not, that you could still even go Kakashi DBZ Fusion Dance with Anko from Naruto, who, if you don't remember who that is, now that there's a series apparently, so there's that. Or it's their love child, whatever one you want to go with. Also make sure to check the PBE for updates on Akali. There are some new updates while I'm editing this, so make sure to check that out at Surrender at 20. Thank you for watching.
Rules.